So it's very interesting. Let's dive into some of the issues now, because you've all got a story. You all come from someplace different. You all have aspirations. The State of the Union. When you were asked that question, you were asked, how is the State of the Union? You answered in this way. Back there. Are you satisfied or dissatisfied with the way things are going in this country? 95% of you said you were dissatisfied. Can you tell us about that a little bit? Why are you dissatisfied? What are you dissatisfied in? What is upsetting to you, or at the core of this? Let's start here and we'll move around.
Hello, my name is Samuel Evans. I'm a rising senior at Texas A&M University. And so going back to the survey, going back to our retreat, we had something during the Posse Plus retreat called the No Talent Talent Show. And during this No Talent Talent Show, I presented the spoken word. And my first line of the spoken word was, state of our union, what about the state of my block? Why do I have to walk to school in conjunction with word about being shot? And so I say that to say that in Atlanta, where I'm from, 303-110, 303-14, 303-18, make up 80% of the Georgia prison population. You have a 4% chance of ever leaving Atlanta if you grow up in poverty. About 60% of Atlanta public schools is impoverished. So the numbers are against us.
So you grew up in Atlanta?
Yes, sir.
And did you worry about your safety when you walked to school?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's definitely something where you worry about your safety, but I feel as though as a Posse scholar, I'm not problem-based, I'm solution-based. And so to speak to that solution, we created something working with L.E.A.D Atlanta, which stands for Launch, Expose, Advise, Direct, to be quick. And so we created something called the Safe at Home game. So it allows kids in this zip code to play baseball with the local APD and build good relationships between the police.
So are the roots of your dissatisfaction about safety and opportunity and inequality from what you've experienced and seen in your community, or is it bigger than that?
I think it stems from my community, because I see a lot of things go on in the state of our union, but I don't see a lot of things change. What my
I want to move through a variety of issues quickly that you raised in your Posse Plus retreats and in these conversations when you've thought about the State of the Union. You've talked about crime and guns. You've talked about education, educational opportunity. You've talked a lot about incarceration. You've talked about climate, all right? Now, we're not going to dive deep in each one of these, because each one of them could be its own town hall like this. But we've now talked about a number of things, and we've teed up both your frustrations, your disappointments, your dissatisfaction with where the country is going, your hopes for it. So let's go into some of these for a minute, more than a minute. Guns and crime. How can we involve the community? This is Brittany McBride, Boston University. Where's Brittany? Right here. How can we involve the community in holding the police accountable for their actions in a way that can bridge the community and law enforcement? Who's got an idea on that? An answer on that? A suggestion on that? Yes. Go ahead and I'll come down to...
And just to speak on that, so what we did in Atlanta, Samuel Evans, Texas A&M rising senior, graduating in December. So, and so to that, I would say we created something called the Safe at Home game. So often, kids like me, I've experienced police brutality.
You've experienced police brutality?
Yes, sir.
Personally?
Yes, sir.
What happened?
So what happened was I was driving late night, and I happened to be driving. I didn't turn my lights on my car to speed through it. Didn't turn my lights on my car. Made a mistake. Got pulled over. As soon as I got pulled over, the cop realized that it was two black males in the front seat. He walked to the front of my driver's seat with his gun already, with his hand already on his gun. I could see him as he was walking.
You saw this happen?
Yes, sir. I'm like, oh.
Scared?
I was definitely terrified, and then what was crazy about it, the car was a brand new car, and he said that we're gonna go ahead and give you a warning, but we want you to step out of the car, and we're like, For what? You know what I mean? It's kind of like, and I didn't mean to, I guess, ask that question, but he was like, and then he was very enraged that we were just confused about, why we were having to step out of the car. And then through us being kind of confused, that created a whole situation where I stepped out of the car, and then immediately he put me in handcuffs. He was like, I want to detain you because I want to just search the car to make sure nothing's going on. We were on like a back street kind of road. He was like, I'm not sure why y'all over here, so I'm just going to go ahead and search the car and find out if there's anything in the car and this and that. So then I was very confused. I was shoved onto the car with my hands still in cuffs. Now, mind you, I'm a Posse scholar, Gates Millennium scholar, and an ambassador to my city, and an Eagle Scout. So I was very confused as to why. I was just like, they say like, hey, black boys are doing this and that, but I have definitely tried my best, despite my community, to do the best I can. I'm still in this situation. So, long story short, luckily I'm still here today. The other cops had pulled up, and what was crazy about it is not even that the officer was a black male. The officer was a black male that initiated it. That was a black male with a white officer, and so the white officer was kind of chilling. The black male was the one initiating to the white officer that this is what I do. You know what I mean? I'm just like, so I don't even want to. It's kind of it's too emotional of a situation, just long-winded.
I appreciate, but I think it's very powerful that you share that story as you go into what your thought is on this. So how do you answer Brittany's question
so to answer Brittany's question, I think that youngins like myself growing up, it's a subconscious thing that has to happen with the police, between the police and the young kids, which means that they have to understand that the police are an ally. They have to seem that way, because we are conditioned to believe that they aren't an ally. Why would I call the police because they come late, this and that? So what we created something that would lead called the Safe at Home game, where young kids in these impoverished communities, area codes, are allowed to play baseball games with the Atlanta Police Department. What this is doing is creating a sense of community, a sense of love and respect between the police and the young kids. And so now these police officers are starting to see these young kids as human beings, as young kids, as things like that, because so often as a black male, I don't get that same context or that same trust as a human being.
And did you initiate this, or did you and a group of people?
Yes, sir. So I work with someone named CJ Stewart, who's a mentor for me in the Atlanta community. He also works with the Posse Foundation. And so I was alumni of this organization. And so through me being ambassador to my home city, we worked in conjunction.
You had your hand up. Go ahead. And by the way, like, amazing story and huge respect to you for the way you responded to that situation. Not just with restraint and in the moment, but with leadership coming out of an incredibly difficult situation. So thank you.